Hello and welcome all. Let's get started with a video on NimblrTA Realtime Dashboard. What exactly is this and why do we need it? NimblrTA Realtime Dashboard is a screening engine which shall screen the stocks across multiple strategies as defined and governed by NimblrTA concept. Let's have a brief overview of this and we shall look into the demonstration. To access it, you can access it via the site kkonline.org/NimblrTA, and then you could browse through and reach real-time dashboard product page. Over here, there's a presentation which we shall go through quickly and then see the live demonstration. So the purpose and the intent to get started, it's simple, ready to use, customizable, unified dashboard which present real-time stocks based on NimblrTA concept. It's a web-based solution which is easy and secure. So you can access it via your mobile phone or your laptop or even your iPad devices. It's modular tool to work and suitable for intraday traders, positional analysis, and for office goers who log into the system at mid session and then want to check what is actually happening on the market. Of recently, there have been multiple things which have been added. So it's a widget based system as we shall see it, and new code have been added. Of recently, ICMC breakouts on different time frames, TinyICs, impulses, momentum have been added. About the dashboard, so in the back end it works quickly with NimblrTA real-time dashboard being powered by Firebase. It's a real-time database, so it's quick. You must break out and flow at the right time in real time. That is the motto. Until unless you know where the breakout is happening at the right time and in real time, it won't be of much use. You must take your entry immediately, right? What's on the dashboard? The dashboard will be divided into different categories. There are widgets, we shall see about it, and there are multiple widgets, for example, intraday basis, daily analysis basis, positional basis, there are overnight positions which have been added, and other widgets. This is an exhaustive list which is even growing. At this time, we had around 35 or so. Right now, we are more than 45 plus widgets on the system. This is how the widgets would look like. If you see over here, this is the basic structure of a widget. You have the name of the strategy, hourly ICMC breakout, the time last it was updated, and the results. It will show you the change, the price, and the name of the stock. There's a minus sign and a multiply sign. So crossing will remove this widget, which can be added easily. Minus will minimize this widget and this view will not be visible. Only the headline will be visible. Moreover, you could have a pagination, you could increase the pages, you can have a snapshot of it, you could print the outcome, what is available. Same thing will be applicable to all the widgets. So now let's get started. For example, in this case, we have multiple stocks being available. So we would go to the site kkonline.org/realtime. If you are a first time user, you can register, you can log in, and then you must click the enable button to access the widgets. So over here, you can activate it by clicking this claim button and you will get a free preview period for the usage and assessment of the tool. Registration is very simple. You just log in into the site, you put your email, you put your password, and then after login, click the claim access button. That's all. So now let's head on and move to the actual widgets. Here on screen, I have these widgets available. I have 45 widgets. So as of now, right now the time is 10:37 and the markets are open. So the tracking of the real-time dashboard is live and in real time. This means right now I have removed all the widgets and now I am interested to see the stocks from these widgets as per my understanding of NimblrTA concept. I would like to see where the ICMC breakout is happening on a daily basis. So I would click over here after I log in. I will find ICMC daily breakout, and I will see that Syngene has given an ICMC breakout. I will check this over here. This is something which is happening live and right now. So if you see over here, I have NimblrTA tracker available, and ICMC breakout indicator also can be enabled. So you could see on daily time frame, ICMC breakout has been happening right now. This is something which is happening at 10:38 on 18th of July. So the markets are live and it is ticking right now. Similarly, I am interested to see how are the indices placed at this very moment. I click on indices. I see that CNX IT, that is IT sector, is moving up, followed by metals, and then we have other indices. So now if I know the indices are moved and they are topped by IT, I would like to align myself with such positions. Similarly, I want to check where the TinyIC on 30 minutes are being formed right now. So I would enable 30 minutes TinyIC and I would get SBIN over here. Do note that this is live market, so it is basically happening live. By the time the trigger happens, real time, it shows you the values. So at this moment, when the trigger happened, it gave me an ICMC signal and the TinyIC information. However, by the time I am already on the chart, that probably might have changed. Similarly, in case I am interested to see where the weekly TinyIC formations or daily tiny or monthly TinyIC formations are there, so I can easily track the same. I would go to Sun TV, for example, on a daily chart and see if the TinyIC is being formed at this very moment. So yes, we see over here the TinyIC is being formed on this very moment on Sun TV. So I could easily take a position upside and downside as per the NimblrTA guidance and trade accordingly. I also see that the candles are shunted over here. So crossing above this level of high of TinyIC, we can probably reach on the upside much easier until the point of this breakout which happened. That is how we would use it. Similarly, the TinyICs can be seen on weekly, monthly, daily, 30 minutes basis, and so on. So there are different combinations. Similarly, we can see where the weekly ICMC breakouts or monthly ICMC breakouts are being done. So this is basically one section where we are talking about the breakouts based on TinyIC and ICMC. Next, coming to another widget over here, synchronous momentum. So let's see where the synchronous momentum is right now on 18 July 10:40. So I am right now at 10:41 and 10:40 last minute where I got this information. So TPL plus over here, I am getting this information. I have applied NimblrTA CCI indicator, and over here, if I just go to my values, I can see where exactly are these values. So if you see this screen over here, you can see daily, weekly, monthly CCI values, and over here the synchronous momentum was not there, and right now there are two time frames on daily and weekly which have gained CCI momentum. So that is what is synchronous momentum coming together on different time frames. Similarly, box breakout, a very common term which we have been using. So this is one of the stock Adani Trans right now. It has given a box breakout, which means that it is moving upside and it has crossed the previous levels which it had formed. So the breakout from the box of the consolidation has happened. Similarly, if we go for another option over here in the widget, sustained gap up at the point of opening session today, I was tracking how and which stocks are giving a gap up and they are sustained as of now. So it is very simple for me. So I would just write gap up over here, and I see some stocks which have given a gap up. So for example, Infi has given a gap up and it has sustained. I also know by this dashboard that CNX IT is topping, and if Infi has given a gap up, which makes me very which makes it very interesting trade. So I know ICMC breakout is happening. There's a gap over there, and CNX IT is in momentum. So Nifty in that case can be moved easily by IT stocks, and Infi is one of the highest weightage in the indice. So it will make it very easy for me to choose and enter Infosys at this very moment, right? So this is the ICMC breakout, and that is how it is happening. Similarly, I can have other stocks which are at this moment giving a sustained gap up to keep a track of time, because next 5 minutes we will have this widget getting updated in real time. Now, which are the stocks which have given positional pullback? These are the stocks which are positionally in momentum. They went down gradually. However, they have resumed the ride on the upside. So these are called positional pullback. Bell today has been doing wonderful. We had analyzed it the other day, and now today it has moved around 3 to 4% already. Right now, if you see, it is 4.4% up. It has been given a gap up as well. And in that case, right now, if we see, it is positionally pulled back. That means it already has momentum on the higher time frames. But now again, it has started the rise on the upside. So it gave a Binet formation over here. Similarly, let's go further. We have intraday positional. So these stocks are the stocks which we would like to see at 3:15 or 3 p.m., because that is the time a new position can be started for overnight, right? So over here we already know ITS topping, Tech Mahindra, LTI, Infi, all these Mindtree, Emphasis, these are all part of IT sector. So we know that we got an intraday positional trade over here. That means the momentum is too much, or it is in hyper momentum on these particular stocks on a intraday basis, and it qualifies for a positional entry. So if you see over here, you get a star which indicates that the information over here is of hyper momentum. CCI 3430 is greater than 200. So this qualifies right now for a positional entry, but we will assess it later at 3 p.m. Similarly, there are other stocks on the same widget. Now I want another widget which is called positional impulse, right? If I add this widget, I can see the information of the stocks which are in this category. So right now, AIA, ENG, right now it gives me a positional swing trade. This basically means that it has moved above the previous range, right? So whatever was the previous range, it is moving upside and above that. So this was the recent range with what we had, and it has crossed that range, and it has done on a positional basis. Similarly, I already know the stock is in momentum and the score has been increasing, so it becomes very interesting for me to enter this trade. Over here there's a lower low, there's a no overlap, and the previous high also has been crossed over here, so entry can be done easily. Now the widget has updated, it is at 10:45, so this is the current status. Similarly, we can have more widgets. So let's go further. Daily in candle open, daily momentum, weekly momentum, monthly momentum. So these are some of the stocks or some of the widgets where we would like to track where and how the candles are moving. Shankara has given daily in candle open. So if I had a position in Shankara, I could easily trespass and move upward. So if you see, I enable MI zone over here. This opened within the previous candle shunted range. So it becomes very easy for me to enter this particular stock because it is within the body of the previous candles and it is shunted. Similarly, daily momentum has been achieved in Voltas. Voltas, if you see right now, it has got fresh daily momentum. If you track it, it is crossing the MI zone as of now. It has got CCI momentum on daily as 107. Prior to this, it was a lower value, and suddenly today it has crossed 100. So that is why I get this information. On weekly basis, momentum on Federal Bank has crossed. So if you see the weekly momentum, it has crossed above 100, right? So prior to this, this blue value was less than 100, which indicates the weekly price, and now it has moved above 100. So I get a fresh momentum. Similarly on monthly basis as well. Let's remove the widget. I don't like this widget. Let me minimize it or let me remove it. Or I am not interested in the indices view. Let me close it. Let me close the synchronous momentum and so on. So I can just align myself based on the widgets. Coming down further, we have information regarding open analysis. So at open analysis, Larson and Toubro was selected. This is the point at the open. That is, we would like to check this information at the opening session. So I come over here, I check at 9:15 or 9:20. At that moment of time, if I enable the open prices, let me enable the NimblrTA tracker and open prices. So if you see over here how this information would get together. So I am on a 5-minute start right now. And over here, if you see the open line, the orange open line crossed above the previous open lines at the start of the day, and that is the time the widget tells you that it is an open analysis and you can take an entry. All these are the same stocks in similar categories. Tata Motors over here for today, again categorized in open analysis widget. That means at the open itself it was bullish. Also, if you are using NimblrTA tracker, it can easily guide you for entries and exits. This has been discussed in more detail in the ecosystem video. Similarly, now if we want more widgets to be added, we can have different levels of TinyIC on 15 minutes, TinyIC 15 minutes on indices, 30 minutes, we talked about it, hourly ICMC breakout. For office goers, 30 minutes and hourly ICMC breakouts are good. So on hourly basis, Kotak Bank right now on hourly basis is giving a breakout. So I come to Kotak Bank, I come over here, I check and I get an ICMC breakout which is happening right now. So you see this. This is IC, this is MC on hourly basis. It is still in the making, but it qualifies live in the dashboard. Right now, let's go to another widget. Okay, we have covered most of it. Overnight position. This is one of the widget we would like to cover and reach and check again at the closing of the session. That is after 3 p.m. because that is the time I would like to take a position for overnight. So at this very moment, these are some of the stocks which are categorized. However, at 3 p.m. I will get more clarity and maybe the position, if I already have it, I can continue that position as well for overnight. Moving further, we have discussed about multiple retest part now. So let's discuss it. So daily, weekly and monthly retest. So if you see Inox Leisure over here is giving an ICMC breakout and now it is giving a retest. It is ICMC breakout on daily basis and it is giving a retest. So if I would like to take a retest entry, ICMC breakout has already happened. And at this very moment, if I check, this is the retest which is happening at this level, right? So if I want to take a position based on the higher time frames, I can easily take that position. Similarly, on weekly basis, right now there are no stocks, but on monthly basis there are some stocks which gave a retest. Bell gave a retest on monthly basis. So if I am on the monthly chart over here, ICMC breakout happened earlier and now I was getting a retest. This is the retest level right now, right? So ICMC breakout happened and then breakout again, a fresh breakout is happening right now. So it has given a retest over here, over here, over here. These are 3 points of retest last 3 months, and that is why it is categorized over here. Similarly, adding more stocks regarding candle assessment. Candle assessment again is very interesting for intraday trades because I know where the candle count is very less. We talked about indices where the IT is topping at this very moment. So it becomes very obvious that most of the stocks would be from the same indices. Over here again, we get National Aluminium. We have Tech Mahindra. These are the IT stocks and Voltas. We discussed about it. Let's take Manappuram, how it behaved on a 5-minute basis because this is intraday. 5 minutes basis, we got change in sentiment. How did it actually change? If you track only the CCI part over here, you will get the information that it took 46 candles of 5 minutes. I'm on 5 minutes time frame, and the sentiment change from a sell momentum over here to a buy momentum. So it just took 45 candles of 5 minutes. Similarly for LTI, let's see how many candles it took. So it just took approximately a very low number of candles. The count is not, because the count is a bit higher on this side, so it is not showing that count. But if I come on the 30 minutes level, how much is the count? I can easily track that information. So let's see, let the indicator load. So it took 15 candles of 30 minutes, and the sentiment was below -100, it moved to above 100. So this tells you how the sentiment itself has changed completely and reversed for IT sector. Same is the case for other stocks over here. Now, let's see some stocks which are giving an impulse at this very moment. We talked about most of these. Now, let's also talk about daily and weekly freshly aligned stocks. So, over here, we can take Tata Motors. It is getting freshly aligned, right? And I'm on a daily time frame based on this, and I enable the tracker, I enable the EMAs on the tracker, and I would be able to see how the EMAs are actually getting aligned for the first time over here. So orange, blue, green. This is a fresh alignment of EMAs as per NimblrTA concept. The stock is completely bullish on higher time frame right now, and the score is also increasing. The momentum on a lower time frame, if I would like to track, it is 185. So it is in hyper momentum. So it makes very easy for me to either go for a retest entry or entry based on an overnight position, because the same stock was also categorized in the overnight position widget. Similarly, we can have more widgets. For example, over here, no overlap, right? So in this case, where is the no overlap which is happening? So blue dart is giving a no overlap. ITC is giving a no overlap. SKF India is giving a no overlap. Let's check some of this stock so that we understand them better. So I'm on a daily time frame. I know that no overlaps are happening from this level. They are above this level as well. And the values are giving a no overlap. So it becomes very easy for me to take a position based on this consolidation. Above this, I would be entering. Probably below this, I would wait for a new lower low, and then I can enter. On the CCI level, I see monthly CCI is greater than 100 and the score is increasing, and I see a star over here. That means quadrant 1 has been entered recently by SKF India. Similarly, there could be other stocks, Blue Dart over here. Let's see how it has also been providing a no overlap. So if you see over here, if I just remove these indicators, so you see the values over here, I get a no overlap. So it is already qualifying for a no overlap. This can be on a different time frame itself, and it becomes very easy for me to enter such stocks based on no overlap strategy. Similarly, let's see some of the stocks over here which can be giving an impulse. So right now, daily impulse, positional impulse, impulsive momentum. So these are some of the categories of widgets which are giving you the impulse movement. Impulse momentum is basically giving you information of stocks which are impulsive, that is a lower low has been formed, previous high has been crossed, and they are in momentum right now. So over here, if we see WSG CSG paper, right now the time is 10:55. Markets are live and ticking, just to remind you. So over here, if I see where I getting the position. So a lower low has been formed over here. This was the previous low, and right now this is the recent low. So I have a marginal low which has already been formed. The previous high level of this has been crossed on the upside, and as soon as it crossed on the upside, I am getting this information that you can take an entry. So the widget gave me a positional entry over here at 348 itself, right? This is on a weekly basis. But now if I am tracking the same on a daily basis over here, I can easily see how it is actually moving. It has created a lower low, and then it moved above the previous range break over here. So this range has been broken on the upside, and then at 351 itself I would get a entry, or the widget would provide me that information. Similarly, Apple over here, let's see how it actually moved. Apple overall, if we see the structure, it is increasing in strength on daily basis. It has momentum. It has recently formed a low, and then previous high has been crossed. So in that case, it becomes very easy for me to track how a lower low has been formed and a new high range high has been formed, right? It has also given a no overlap, minor low, no overlap over here. So in that case, it becomes very easy for me to trade and take an entry, right? Now taking another example of quick heal, or let's go to another part over here. Let's see, impulsive momentum bell. We already talked about it. Sequent we can take probably. Over here, Sequent is one of the stock. It created a new lower low. The recent high has been crossed. This is on a weekly basis. It is giving an impulse. Now the same thing if we check on a daily basis. So we see a no overlap over here. A lower low has been formed and the recent high has been crossed. So as soon as this is happening, I get the information that impulsive momentum is in sequent. So it becomes very easy for me at 10:55 to assess it, take a position on a lower time frame. Probably I'll go down to a lower time frame. I will see which would be a better entry on this particular stock. Similarly, we have other widgets. If we see more on this, we would have overnight position. We talked about positional impulse. So these are some stocks which are positional in nature and they are already giving an impulse. Momentum might not happen in them, but then they are qualifying for the impulse criteria at this moment. So if you go on a daily chart, a lower recent low has been created, or even if you go on a weekly, you would see that a recent low has been reached and a new high is being formed altogether over here. So this would basically mean that the level low over here has been crossed and it is positional impulse. The score has been increasing and that is why the widget tells you about it. Similarly, if you go for another stock, Fortis over here, right? Over here, a recent low has been formed and the recent high has been crossed. There was a no overlap over here and it has been crossed on the upside. That is why it's a positional impulse, which can last for multiple days. Similarly, for impulsive momentum, daily impulse. This is basically on your lower time frame levels. So over here, if I am on a 30 minutes time frame, I see a recent low has been formed, a lower low has been formed over here. This is the recent low and the previous high has been crossed. That is why I got this on a 30-minute level. Similarly, I can track the same levels on even a lower time frame. Now I see Pfizer over here. Pfizer again on a 5-minute chart, if I try to check it, how it has actually given. So this is a low, this is another lower low, and this level of high has been crossed. And that is the reason I'm getting this in the daily impulse criteria. So using the widget is extremely simple. All you need to do is to identify what you are looking for, positional or intraday. You could have different varieties. Indices can be used, synchronous momentum, we use ICMC breakouts, the gap up. So there are around 45 widgets which we discussed over here. And based on your understanding of the concept, the same can be used. Another example over here probably we missed is Tanla in shadow shunting. That means shunting is happening over here. So it becomes very simple for me just to come over here on a time frame and then check where shunting is actually happening. So if I see over here, it is in the shunted range. I am getting shunting over here. So these candles are already shunted if you see, and it is in shunting range. So I can easily take the entry. This has given a trespassing entry in candle open of the previous candle. So I can easily take this entry. Similarly, GAR fibers over here again qualifies for something similar. So if you see, it is already shunted either on the lower time frame or on the higher time frame. It has given trespassing entry, and until 3220 it can easily reach. It is already in the shunted range. So I get the stocks easily. That is how you could easily use NimblrTA real-time dashboard for entering particular stock and screening them based on NimblrTA strategies easily. Thank you so much. And in case you have any queries, you can always write back to me and then I can revert back. Thank you so much.